Precision Concepts, Robbie Bell. So tell me what you bring to these races in an off-road setting.
Yeah, I mean, we bring as much in the way of spare parts as possible. Obviously, wheels, air filters. You know, we have spare suspension, spare engines. We don't have like a big semi, like a full factory team, but you know, we have a nice rig that we stock as much as we can, just so we have spare parts just in case. You know, to be prepared for the worst case scenario.
And also, you take care of amateurs here, as far as suspension.
Yeah, we do. So on top of being, you know, here supporting obviously our race team with the Chaparral Motorsports Precision Concepts Kawasaki team, we're also here in capacity as Precision Concepts, you know, the suspension and engine modification shop. But you know, we're able to service suspension at the track. So if somebody, regardless of, you know, what suspension they run, if they come by and they blow a fork seal at the track, we don't want that to end their weekend. We're here for everybody who comes to the races. So
yeah, that's awesome. Is it a common thing for like fork seals to go out in an off-road?
It honestly, for fork seals having issues at a track, it really just depends. At a muddy race, for sure. A sandy race, more common. But also sometimes it just depends on that particular rider, how often they service their suspension. You know, if it's been a while, then it's more of a ticking time bomb when that fork seal is going to blow. So it could just happen to be that weekend, and they're like, "Hey man, I got a race in, you know, like 4 hours, 5 hours." We can sometimes be able to bang it out real quick.
Yeah, could you take us into your?
Yeah, we could pop up real quick. Yeah, I mean, it's a decent little size for what we need. Obviously, we have just kind of our workbench right here. We kind of have spare engines in the corner right there. You hope you never have to go through those. We got our fork rack over here. We got shocks and a pull-out drawer. But I mean, we really have everything we need. We got a nitrogen tank down below, so everything we need to work on suspension. You know, heaven forbid if one of our guys has an issue, or if we need to make some updates, you know, during the race weekend, we're able to do that in-house, which is really nice. Yeah, and then we got our cabinets here with all of our oils and fluids, suspension oil, shock oil, all of our Maxima products, so that way we keep the guys, keep the bikes. We have everything we need to keep the bikes track ready.
It's pretty much like a mini shop for you.
It really is, yeah. Like I said, it's not like the big semi, but it's everything we need, you know, for a little 10x10 space. It's everything we need to be able to work on a bike, get our guys on the track with the best equipment possible.
So I have people that ask questions does Zach run A-kits on outdoors? I mean, out here, is there a special suspension for off-road?
No.
Compared to...
So we've tested with A-kit, and there's definitely benefits to A-kit suspension, but we run stock, OEM 450 Showa suspension components. And honestly, what we found for off-road is there's just a little more compliancy, a little more plushness. The A-kit stuff has great control, but you get in some of the choppier, rockier tracks, and just that little bit of compliancy of the OEM components has its advantages too. And so we came up with a setting that each of our riders love on the Kayabas kits, on the 250s as well. So we just stick to the OEM components, and it's nicer. It keeps the cost down for us, and the guys are happy.
Wow, I'm amazed.
Yeah.
Because his suspension looks good.
Yeah, we get a lot of comments on how good his suspension looks, and honestly too, I mean, we would love to take all the credit in the world for that, but it's also the rider making the suspension handle as well. I mean, it's a combination. You got the chassis, which is a big part, and we're fortunate that the chassis for the 450 and the 250 is just a really good base. And then obviously we dial in the suspension for getting that kind of like that last, maybe 30%, customizing it for each rider, what they like. But then that last piece of the puzzle is the rider helping it work. Because you can take a good suspension setting and make it look pretty horrible, but we got 3 talented riders that help the suspension work too.
Yeah, so my last question is, how many bikes do you bring?
So typically we just have one race bike for each guy. But then like right now, with the brand new 250, the KX250X, there's Kawasaki's kind of restocking all their parts just with this crazy demand that we have in the industry right now. So our Jake and Clay, they'll bring their practice bikes, so that way we have a spare bike there. I also bring my 450, so we do have a spare bike for each rider. So typically we'll have a race bike for each guy and a spare bike.
Well, I appreciate you showing us around, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for taking the time.